Hello everyone, my name's Colt, which you probably know that if you're watching this. I am doing a video comment on Mina Aquila, ForwardArrow's most recent original character, posted on Bizarro Day. It's a sequel or continuation of Hemo, which was one of his most popular, well not most popular, as Aurelia won last contest, but one of the more popular ones. It's a continuation of it. In fact, Hemo is directly involved in Mina's backstory as the antagonist. So, since it is Bizarro Day, or it was Bizarro Day, the bizarro aspect of this set is like a magical girl persona, something that ForwardArrow hardly ever does. And it's also like an antagonist to Hemo, who's pretty MYM in his character values. So it's bizarre in that sense. And yes, Mina is in battle with her pet, Ginny. It's a guinea pig who she feeds too much, so he's a little portly. I like the little nuances like that in the set. It's like he's a bit fat even by guinea pig standards, probably because Mina spoils him with too much food. That reveals a lot about her character and his character, and that's something that's really needed in original characters. And it's really cute. And Ginny himself is pretty cute too. Overall, it fits the magical girl kind of thing, because I guess he's like a fill-in for Cube, although Cube isn't that popular, even though it's like a cute animal, cute mascot animal. So yeah, Ginny is basically this, and Windows G key. I am not recording a game, thank you. Please, can you fuck off? Is there a way to disable this shit? This is not a game. Do you think this is a motherfucking game? Do you think I'm playing? I'm not. So Mina. I'm kind of a fan of magical girl designs. I like some of the Madoka designs, even though I've never actually seen Madoka. Also like Sailor Moon and stuff. We owe a lot culturally to Sailor Moon and how big that anime impacted, like pretty much all of it, anime after. So I like paying homage to that. By the way, Hannibal Bean, I don't remember what I'm gonna have my point. I don't remember what Hemo looks like, but I think it's like a blob or something. It's like an evil blob. But all I can think of is Hannibal Bean from Zal and Showdown. Like this, like horrific looking motherfucker. That's basically what I think Hemo is. Look at him. That's Hemo to me. Sorry if I. So, Mina and Ginny. We have fairly decent stats here. Pretty good for, a body of her stature. Ginny doesn't actually kind of have stats except for size. Originally thought that he would be more like a Luma type character or Nana, and that he would have weight and such, but he doesn't really, even though he takes 30% damage before dying, I believe. Yes, 30%. I don't know how much knockback he takes, because he can sit around and such, so people can attack him. So either he doesn't take knockback, or he takes some, but we don't know how much it is. I would correct that. And if Ginny is KO'd, Mina will be sad, but he'll be back about 5 seconds later. I like the little like the expressions of Mina in this set. It really gives her actual character, which is great because this is someone from. This is like sharing a little bit of yourself. It's like your child. We have to know what she is because we don't have like a fan fiction or whatever or a source material to go from. So she's got a magical girl persona, but she's been modified to make plant life. I don't know what the science behind it is, since you do give a scientific definition for it, or not definition, explanation, but not really. Mina wants to pretend it's magic, but she's bioengineered to spread this counter gene for Hemo's, plant doomsday. So I don't know if she like makes it out of lipids from her body, like Momo from My Hero Academia, but just a little blurb would be to how it actually works if you want to. I don't care. It's just a tiny nitpick. Neutral special is the crux of the set. She can release 3 different types of petals. The most relevant are pink petals, which power up a lot of her moves, making them a lot better, whereas normally they're kind of weak. She also has purple petals, which are like basic projectiles. They're not really expanded on much. One of the things I would like you to do in the set is to, reference the purple petals more, and even the red petals. You do reference the red petals a lot, even more than the purple ones, I believe. But you focus way more on the pink petals. I mean, rightly so, because they have different behavior with your moves rather than the other two. But it feels like 1/3 of the move is getting way more attention than the other 2/3. But they are really cool projectiles. You call them constructs later. I wouldn't exactly call plant life constructs or things like this construct. We'll say like lingering, hitbox proliferation, I guess. I know there are some people who would compare this to another set by another MYMer, or even one of your own sets, Aurelia, with her 3 dust. But I don't think it's fair to Mina or you to constantly have your work compared to your number 1 work and also the work of someone else, because no one owns ideas. I think it's fair to keep all the ideas like in public domain. So if you want to do an idea, you shouldn't have it compared to someone else's. So I won't be doing that. The way you implement them is really cool. They're lingering hitboxes. It took me a while to like get it, because it is a pretty big wall of text. But once I got it, I kind of fully understood it, because they fly forward a little bit, then they linger around. They kind of float. You say randomly. I don't think that's quite the right word. You want to do it erratically. It took me a while. I think you said they have a set path they alternate it from. That's about the height of Ganondorf. So what I imagine is they spew out like confetti, and then until they wither, they just float up and down Ganondorf style. And because you can tilt it, angle it up, I think like if you tilt it this way, they would go like that, or if you tilt it this way, they would go like that. That's how I'm interpreting it. It may be wrong, I don't know. That's what I kept in mind. That's one of the reasons that images are so important, especially in something like this, because it gives the reader a better visual than having them try to come up with it themselves. Go Ginny Go is another pretty important move in the set. Mina sends out her hamster Ginny, who's kind of like a little Pikachu, and he can do one of 3 different like movements. He can go up, he can go straight forward, or he can go down, which goes halfway the forward, but he spins and he's like a hitbox. The forward one's a roll, and the other one's like a leap, but it goes the same distance as the forward, but it's in an arc. So for this, what have I done? Enjoy MYM chat while I bring back up the moveset. Mina can interact with Ginny in ways that, you know, when Ginny doesn't come back, because Ginny comes back to Mina normally like a boomerang, but Ginny can also miss Mina and stay on the stage. Mina can then use Ginny's positioning as like stepping stones for other moves, such as back aerial. When if he's in the air and Mina hits with a hitbox, it creates the back aerial wave. Ginny also powers up Mina's up special, which we will soon get to, and gives her a boost. And that kind of partner mechanic is really nice, and it doesn't take up, you know, a lot of design space, while simultaneously being very intuitive. I wish there were more moves that positioned Ginny rather than just this one, because there are quite a lot of moves that rely on Ginny's positioning. But as a special, it's kind of special, so having other moves that do it would kind of weaken the point of being a special. So yeah, I like Ginny's interaction. I also really like how he can store petals in his cheeks, and it's really having like stored up as like an ammo bank is really cool. The petals themselves are basically ammo for Mina's attacks, but spread out over the stage, which is pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that done. So yeah, I really like that. I think Ginny's move is really clever as an attack option select, and it's really flexible in what it can do. It's also pretty fitting in character, like the little animations are really cute. As for Mina's down special, she plants a seed which grows a tree, which grows a fruit, and that fruit can be eaten or used as a throwing item, and the tree can be toppled over. It's like Villager's tree, but not as wide. Tree wasn't really touched on, except in like 2 other moves, so I would really like you to focus more on the interactions with the tree, because just having a special that does something pretty unique not be, you know, integrated more, or at least just a reference. You don't have to do direct move interactions. I would really like more of that. The move itself is pretty fine. It reflects her life sowing abilities. The fruit shows her more a motherly side, I guess, helping people out, and it's really cute when Ginny eats one. The heart beam, I wasn't really sold on it, but you know, it's cool as like this kind of cinematic style, you know, attack. Even if, you know, it's kind of cheesy or corny, I guess. You know, the whole magical girl persona with, you know, Mina's hearts and pink energy is pretty corny, but I think it fits in really well. If you don't know, when Mina throws a fruit to Ginny while it's spinning, they'll like hearts will come out and they'll do this beam as they send it to each other, and it can juggle foes, I guess, or knock them back between each other. So if you get Ginny on one side and Mina on the other, and like connect the beam, I don't know how viable that is but it'd be just really cool to pull off. The set's full of cinematic moments like this, which are very treats for the reader, engaged, even if they are hammy and over the top. Up special is it's kind of a riff on Pikachu's, but it works pretty well.
I'm ready for.
That was loud. I'm sorry. Mina has this butterfly wings she sprouts, and she can jump in the air and leap through like cloud petals, which I thought was really nice. She can also leap to Jenny and boost, but the boosts are limited. Jenny can only do it once, and the petals you have to have a collection of 5 in one place in order to do it, and they don't last forever. So it's got a safety cap on stalling, and at the same time allows you to set up kind of paths for you to jump across the stage on. So I really like that. I like this kind of like playground style of move setting, where you can. I don't necessarily like clogging up the stage with a lot of constructs, but I do like having lines of play. Certain sets from last contest did this as well, which I really liked, in different ways, and where you can set teleports or speed boosts and just cross the stage in a second. It makes for dynamic and energetic gameplay, which is what I think Smash is all about. Not, quiet, simple, boring gameplay. Nothing in Mina's moveset, I believe, is boring. It's all really exciting and really, evocative, creative. Her melee revolves around pink petals, power up her attacks. So it has like a cyclical style gameplay where you set up clouds of petals where you want to, be hitting the foe from, and you use them to power up your attacks pretty well. Initiate combos. A lot of them bring in foes and flinch and drag them into hitboxes, facilitating combos, especially ForwardArrow. That reduces the frames on it for each petal you get beyond the max, which, especially for like chasing, is really awesome. Her air gain in particular, I like the invulnerability frames or intangibility frames on light kick, and back aerial I mentioned before. I'm a real fan of this move. It's kind of slow and tricky to land, but if you have like a choice of going for the wave and suffering the landing lag, or going for just a regular attack. You don't specifically mention auto cancel frames, but I believe because the attack is the speed it is, and because you get a bonus for landing on the stage, the auto cancel frames would be in effect if you don't go for the wave. So, melee is done excellently well. I would like for more of purple petals and red petals again to be implemented into the melee, because red petals, I didn't even talk about that. If they stick onto a foe, they are a time bomb, which can set up some, kill confirms, stuff like that for melee, and especially an advantage. And also, you didn't really talk about the pink petals interaction with grab much, or extensor grab, which, having a longer grab and not just using the petals for powering up melee moves, but actually using for their other mode of moving the grab closer, gives her combo and chasing options that other characters don't have. I really like, the idea of a character that's weak until, well, not weak, but weaker than average, and you have this powered up variant. You can distribute. It's kind of limited. It makes you play a specific way, but it puts you better than average and quite good in many cases the more you commit to it, which it makes for more varied playstyles, more variety in the playstyle pool, and it also lets take the same old concepts that have been done before and put your own twist on them with unique mechanics and mechanic boosters, while still not being obtrusive. If it's obtrusive, if it's like a required mechanic, then that's where I don't like it. But because it's a natural part of Mina's gameplay, and incorporated in the neutral special, one of the marquee moves, then she does it really well, and I commend you for that. Light Force Strike, I really like in particular, because of the methodology behind it in terms of flavor, and because it has this real magical girl energy. She's putting her run, the force of it, and the force of her magical girl power into the punch. I like that it knocks her back, slides her back some. It shows that she's got this power. But she's also got this kind of girly persona about her where she can't really handle it all. Like kind of like this. Let me make sure that is what I was reminded of, though not quite. She see if you're putting your momentum into it, and Jesus Christ, my hero, we get it. And it kind of knocks her back, because it is kind of a powerful move, even though you don't say it's that powerful. As a KO move, I really like it, especially near the edge. I'm a fan of ledge guarding, if you didn't know. Smashes, they're pretty exciting, but I'm not really that much of a huge, I'm not really that huge on over-the-top animations. I used to think that the more zany and over-the-top animation was, the cooler the move is, but I'm more of a kind of mellow person now. The moves are great, written well, and they cover Mina's bases and introduce interesting ideas. One highlight I thought in Smashes was the down smash, the finger guns. It really highlights her character, which you fucking nailed in the set. It's awesome. It really feels like a magical girl, and probably I like Up Smash's applications of the pedals. I don't know why it copies the ones in Jenny specifically. Like, is this linked to Jenny, or is it like Jenny's soul being channeled here, or is it horny meters? I don't know, but it's still a cool move anyway. Like I talked about backer aerial, forward aerial I really like, again because of the potential with the pink pedals to be an insanely strong pressure move. Up aerial, it fits really well. Services, I really like the interaction between the pedals and pulling them in, kind of putting a rounding them up like a rancher. It helps crowd control your pedals, keep them in place, something Mina really needs when she has all these lingering hitboxes all over the place. Down aerial seems really powerful. The pink magic, I think you nailed it in a bunch of the other moves like neutral aerial and dash attack, but here I think it would be better off as like a plant move. This is just my opinion. I'm not here to creatively hijack your moveset, but it still works fine. Seems a little strong. Also, you break character with hitting Jenny to buff the move. If you change it to a plant move, I think that you could keep this in character, but possibly having her release like aroma or spores. That way, if Jenny like smells the aroma or spores on it, puts them to sleep. And you just see chicks not like sleep, like killing and like putting a dog down or something, but like he takes a nap. He falls past the blast zone, but he's resting. He's sleeping. He works hard. He needs his rest, and then he returns and he's good to go. Grab game. You finally bring back the vines from the pink petals, and I like this little tidbit about them being bound up when they're thrown. You have a sense of continuity in the moveset, and Mina puts them well together. I like how she can use Jenny as a bloodhound kind of to hunt down the foe. So that was really cute. Yeah, the set is really solid. One of my favorites in the contest, and I really liked it. Did I have any other complaints about it? Not complaints, just praise, because I really liked this moveset. I think the pummel in particular is just hilarious. I just laughed out loud reading this. Just little nuances like that really make a set enjoyable to read. And if you're making people enjoy reading it, I think you've succeeded in what you set out to do. I think the wave from the back air should be a little longer. 3/4 Bowser's width is not wide at all in reality. And if you want, I think it should be at least Bowser's width, maybe a smidge more, but that's just, I don't know how unbalanced that would be. That's just me, because I really want to use it in conjunction with Jenny in the air to wall off the foe, especially for edge guarding. So I think that would be really cool. Let's see. No, I don't. The animation's cute as hell. Good job. I think you had, little minor nitpicks like this can be fixed in post. So I don't really like bringing up in a video where I can't just edit it. But I think you referred to forward special as forward tilt in one of the moves. Anyway, it was let me see. Oh, I'm talking about the forward tilt right quick while I'm looking for that. I really like the first hit of forward tilt. The flower pot I could care less, even though you say it's the most important part. I think having her good, damage racking melee while driving in is the most exciting part of the move for me. I do think that you should be more confident in the way you write Mina, because she's a magical girl. You should be more excited and enthusiastic in the writing, but a lot of times you kind of say, well, it's weak most of the time, unless, or it's pretty bad. You talk about, keeping safety on it first before talking about what excites and what's the strongest thing you can do. Basically, you name the weakest applications first, trying to keep it safe so no one will have a balance complaint. But at the same time, that makes the reader feel like it's underbalanced or you're too negative on it. I think the balance is fine, but you're a little harsh. So I think you should have written with more, bombast, I guess is the name. But writing is probably the only real complaint I have about the set. In terms of, well, not even that, because a lot of the set is great because of the writing. So that's kind of a half complaint. And that's just really me being picky, me wanting something more out of the moveset than what it is, because it's already super solid, and I don't think you should change much, if anything. But yeah, I really loved Mina Aquila by ForwardArrow, and if you haven't read it yet, I would recommend it. Thank you for watching. Give the set a read, and I will see you next time.